Our prosthetics are dry. They're ready to attach to the skin. I have some basic supplies here. I have my alcohol palettes. This is my wound one, injury palette. And underneath it is the skin one. I don't know if I need it, but I have it. I have my prosthetic adhesive. This is number 1. There's also a number 2. The number 2 isn't as sticky as the number 1. I really like it for its adhesive strength. 99% isopropyl alcohol. Some stage blood. This is Ben Nye. You can use whatever you got. And some other sorted supplies. And we're going to get started. First of all, we need to clean the skin. I'm going to put a bullet hole just on my arm right here. So you need to clean the skin. You don't have to use 99%. You can use, the 70% or whatever you get in a store. And we're going to just clean the skin first so that the prosthetic adhesive will adhere well to it. And dry it off. And then you're going to add your prosthetic adhesive. Okay, we're going to do the bullet hole, the first one, the entrance wound. You're going to add prosthetic adhesive to the area that you're going to be attaching it to, and you want to make sure you get the whole area, even overlap it a little bit if you need to. And once you have that on, you let it dry, and this is how simple these things are to attach. When the Pros-aide dries, it is tacky. That's why it's called a contact adhesive. So you can see it pulls my skin away a little bit. That's really good glue right there. Okay, we're going to add our wound to it. Now this is how easy it is to use these things. You press it on, then you peel it off. That's it. It usually takes away the edges pretty well. As you can see, I have a little bit of flashing right here. This is just from the edge. As you can see here, there's some on the edge here. I didn't clean it off that well, but that's okay because you can actually grab this and then with a tweezer and just tear it away. You pull away from your skin to get that off there, and then that will help to make the transition very, very smooth. As you can see, it's a little sticky on the outside, which shows you that the prosthetic adhesive was overlaid a little further than the prosthetic. So now what we need to do is powder this. So you use a translucent powder and you just dab it around it and then wipe it away. There is your prosthetic transfer. These things are super durable. This will not come off. I mean, you have to be pretty abusive to get that off. This glue is really strong, and remember, this little prosthetic here is made out of that same glue. This will handle water, rubbing on clothes, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's on there. So now let's go ahead and paint this. So I have my color palette out. This is alcohol, the 99% isopropyl. This is what I use to clean my brush and also to mix the colors. So first of all, I want to look at this and go, well, it's a little darker than my skin, so I can actually take some other colors if I want and just kind of dab it around and blend it in a little if I want. You can actually use a stipple brush if you want. And go ahead and color that. Remember to bring it out into your skin so it looks a little more natural. Okay, as I was working, I was looking at the sponge going, this is not what I like to do. I don't like hard corners. So I got a new sponge, and what I like to do is I like to cut away all the corners like this and even cut them even further in because I like a rounded, irregular kind of rounded edges when I stipple. And that way I don't have the hard corners when I'm working. So after you do that, then when you add your stipple, it will actually not have those hard corners that we normally see on sponges when people use sponges. And as you see, I did move it out a little bit, and I can actually take the sponge again. So I took a little bit of alcohol on this end of the sponge, and I just kind of blended away a little bit of that extra red that I had in here. All right, there we go. Now I can start going a little bit of detail now. It looks a little disturbed now. I'm going to add some more reds Okay, usually I test on my arm, but I'm putting it there. And I'm just going to put it around the edge here and then inside of the wound, like that. And the more red you use, the more you rub in these alcohol palettes, the darker the red gets, because you start adding more color to the alcohol where it's mostly alcohol, it's mostly color. So it gets it a nice dark look to it. And as you can see, I just used a few colors. I didn't use a lot. If you want, you can actually go ahead and use a little bit darker red if you want to kind of get that depth in there. There you go. That is a bullet hole right there. That is a fresh bullet hole. If you want, you can go ahead and take some of your blue and put a little bit on the outside. Oh, that's too much. Way too much. That just makes it look a little bit more disturbed. As you can see, I'm just kind of blending it in as I go. That's a bullet hole. Okay, I just added a little bit of blue there and I mixed it in a little bit, just kind of give it that bruisey look right there. And there is your bullet hole. That is all done. You can actually now take a little bit of your blood if you want, and add a little bit of blood to the center of it there, just to make it look fresh. I didn't put in all of it. I want to leave some of the detail in there. So it's just kind of like draping a little bit off the edge. And that is your bullet hole. Now, to remove this from your skin, the best adhesive remover that I have found is called Detach-All. There are other types out there on the market and they all work pretty good. This one I found doesn't affect my skin as much as the other ones do. I haven't really broke out from it, and actors that I've used it on have really enjoyed it, and it really takes that glue off your skin. There's different ways of removing it. You can try and peel this off first, get as much off as you want, or you can soak it and slowly start peeling it away. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to soak it first. You can put it directly on the skin if you want, move it around, get it on there really good, and then just grab a corner like this. See how it's already pulling it away? This stuff is really, really nice for removing prosthetic adhesives. Prosthetics are not easy to take off. They are on there really well, depending on what kind of adhesive you use. This stuff is just a really nice adhesive remover. It slowly takes it off. What it does is it just like dissolves the glue. And as you can see, I took that off pretty well. If you rub a little bit, it takes it off really nice. See how it's grabbing it all and sticking it on there? You can see how it, it collects on the sponge or the cloth or whatever you're using, and it takes it off really, really nice. You can see that it leaves like an oil residue on the skin. I have found it doesn't really affect my skin too much. There you go. I mean, a little bit of red just from me digging, but look how quick it took that glue off. And now you have a clean skin, and you wash your hands with soap and water, and you can add a new prosthetic to it.